Hi, I'm Andrew Rich, and if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of The Good, The Bad, and The Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, The Bad, and The Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another 5-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure, and we cover it every day at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it, and guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, the car from Carvana's here. Wow, will you look at that? It's exactly what I ordered, like, precisely. It would be crazy if there were any catches, but there aren't, right?
Right, because that's how car buying should be. With Carvana, you get the car you want. Choose delivery or pickup, and a week to love it or return it.
Buy your car today with
Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of December, 2025. This is episode 393. It's the festive Christmas episode, Damon. I want to wish lovely festive goodwill and cheer to all our listeners celebrating Christmas. If you're not celebrating Christmas, we wish you nothing. We hate you!
Oh, that's not true. I mean, I'm sure we have people celebrating Hanukkah, and
Hanukkah's better in terms, right? For a parent, in terms of the structure of giving out one present every day, that is far superior than Christmas, where you're doing it all in one go. Because we've actually done Hanukkah style this year, on account of the fact that we're driving up to London on Boxing Day, so we've moved everything forward a day. So I'm at my parents' house now. So tonight is our Christmas Eve. And tomorrow we're having our Christmas Day.
Dude, you're doing your Christmas Eve and you're doing this nonsense?
Oh, trust me, this is a blessed relief after the couple of days I've had.
Really?
Oh, Damon. What I thought I'd do, right, yesterday, being the good husband that I am, I said to Mally, because she's better at the sort of organisational stuff than me, I was like, okay, look, you need to pack for the trip. And obviously, packing for a long trip is a mission in and of itself, but when you've got two young children to bring with you, it takes on a whole new depth of complexity.
Right. You might as well be moving house at this point.
Right. And I said, don't worry, I will take the kids out for the day. We will be gone the entire day. You can just take all the time you need to do what you need to do, pack whatever. And I ran some errands as well. I changed the spare tyre on the car while we were out, took the kids to the aquarium in Plymouth. We had a lovely lunch at a Kurdish restaurant in Plymouth, went to the shopping centre, did some shopping, got some little presents, went to the play centre there. So it was like full-on day with Esther and Arthur, which is great. Love spending time with them, but also extremely tiring and overstimulating.
Yep.
And I thought, right, so I'll get back home, and as soon as I get home, she can take over. Like, she can take them, she can put them to bed, and I can have a bit of quiet time. So could drive home. Her car's in the parking space, so the other parking space is like right at the top of the hill. You've been to my house, you know what I'm talking about. Right?
Yep.
So Arthur's fallen asleep in the car. Mally's in the shower, so I'm like honking the horn. I'm trying to phone her, like, help, get Arthur out of the car, please. And he wakes up, he's screaming. As though I'm expecting her to, be like the tag team partner.
Sure.
To, like Oscar, to be there, tag him in. She can come and pick up the pieces and do everything. But no, she's in the shower, just absolutely dragging her feet. So I end up having to carry one screaming, crying child downstairs. Bought Esther and Arthur a bubble tea to share. She drops it, so that cracks all over the floor. She's absolutely heartbroken. I want my bubble tea! My bubble tea! I want to lick it off the floor! And I was like, you fucking tell. I don't want any stomach upsets, infections before we go on our holiday. So it was absolute chaos. And then, it's the Christmas excitement with kids. They just get so hyped up about it. And it's lovely, but it's also extremely tiring. So being able to step back from that for an hour and a bit and talk some Wrestle Kingdom to you and the lovely listeners is a real treat.
Now, here we go. I'm going to ask the questions that, of course, I have lined up. The kids are well aware that it is Christmas time and it's just days away, correct?
Yeah. So I've explained the situation that we're doing everything a day earlier. That's caused some anxiety for Esther because she's worried that Santa won't come. She thinks he's going to come tomorrow night, not tonight. And I said, no, I've contacted him to let him know. And she said, I didn't write him a letter. I was like, don't worry, he knows what you like. We're fine. So there's a little bit of stress.
You should be like, come on, put me over a little bit. Be like, listen, I talked to Damon, and he's got an in with Santa, and he's already taken care of it. It's already done. Come on, put me over. Put me over.
She's here now. She can't hear because I've got headphones on. Esther, come here.
Come here.
What would you like to say to, first of all, anything you want to say to Uncle Damon?
It's nice to see you again. You like it in America and Hollywood.
Hollywood? You live in Hollywood.
Hollywood. Well,
sorry. Go on, Damon.
No, can she hear me?
Can you hear Damon?
No.
Right, I'm going to put the headphones on her, so I won't be able to hear, but you will be able to hear you. Hold on a second.
Okay.
It's nice to see you again.
Oh, it is so great to hear your voice. We miss you so much. You excited for Santa coming?
Yes, he's coming tonight.
I know. I already lined it up. So I have a little in with Santa, Father Christmas. And your daddy told me that, you guys are traveling, so it might be a little, I know you were a little anxious because, the different days and everything. It's already sorted out. So you can sleep well and you're going to have such a great time, and such a great night and a great day. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and the whole family are going on a trip?
I know that, Japan. I'm going to China first, then Japan.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited for you guys. It should be really, really so much fun for you because the food is so good, and everything is just so exciting, and I'm so happy for you.
And there's the paper folding origami I like.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm excited for you. Yes. How's school going?
Good.
Good? Everything good?
School.
Right. You're off from school because it's Christmas time.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, listen, I can't wait to see you again. I miss you.
Bye.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, take your toothbrush. Off you go. And close the door behind you, please, Esther.
Aww.
Yeah, Scrumpy's there. We've taken Scrumpy as well. We're leaving Scrumpy with my parents for while we're away.
Cool. Good. There you go. Good call. Good call.
Esther, can
Good
you
call.
shut the door, please, my love?
I want to come here again, so I can
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I told her that there was no Santa and I'm it. So I hope you don't mind. I put myself a little too hard. All right, good. All right, where should we go first? You lead the way, Captain, and then
I've got nothing down. I've got no notes
No.
planned. I've just been so busy with all getting this shit ready. So I watched yesterday's show, Korakuen Hall.
Me too. Okay.
And I thought, like, we could go match by match talk about that, but I feel everything that happened there was set up to Wrestle Kingdom, obviously. So it might be best discussed through the lens, as our friend Josh at We Work Stiff would say, of the Wrestle Kingdom preview. So I'm wondered if it might make more sense to just go straight into the Wrestle Kingdom preview, and then we can touch on Korakuen Hall events then. What would you say to that?
I think it's a good idea. I think that's why everybody's here, right? Everyone's doing their best to get hyped for Wrestle Kingdom, the big show. In just like a week or so ago, I'm in a time machine. A week or so to go. Yeah, I think that's why everybody's here. So why don't we do that? Why don't we just pivot right on in there? Talk a little Wrestle Kingdom. We'll interject some stuff from the Korakuen shows, but yeah, I think the meat and potatoes. Let's get right into. Let's just fucking cover our plate in the goodness of Wrestle Kingdom season.
Yeah, just quick plugs first. Make sure you vote in our year-end awards. The poll link to the ballot is on Discord, and it's also on the Patreon. You don't need to be a paid subscriber on Patreon to access that. It is on the free page. So, again, I don't know what the link is. Patreon.com/SuperJcast. I think, yeah, /SuperJcast. That'll do. Or just search it. Just Google it. Just Google Patreon SuperJcast. You'll find it. So again, that's totally free. You don't need to be a paid member to access that, but don't want to put it on x.com. We have had quite a few entries so far. Good night, Esther.
Good night, Scrum.
We've had 48 responses so far, which is quite encouraging. I thought we'd get a lot fewer than that, given that I wasn't putting it in very public places. So interesting seeing that trickling through. So again, if you're listening and you've not voted yet, please do get involved. We would love to hear your thoughts on how 2025 went. And also, Esther, my darling, I'm recording a podcast. Can you stop talking, please? Thank you, love. We also have the podcasting summit at Tokyo Dome City, January 4th, 12 p.m. at Hub British Pub. So that is about a 3-minute walk away from the Tokyo Dome. So if you are going to be in Tokyo, make sure you come to the podcasting summit where you will meet myself and Jeremy from Speaking of Strong Style, Josh from We Work Stiff. I don't know if Dave is going. I don't think it is. I think it is just Josh. And then Josh and Jeremy from Keeping It Strong Style. So you'll see all the Joels, all the Joshes, all the Jeremys out in full force. Have a lovely time. Buy us all a drink, ideally. But if you've only got enough money to buy one of us a drink, just buy one for me. Because those guys are loaded. They've got better jobs than me. They've got fewer dependents than me. I need the money more than they do. So yeah, please, your charity to me. So that
I might
that's
FaceTime. What would happen if I FaceTimed you guys during that time? You're not going to
do that. I'm not going to do that. No, could do that, but I'm not going to. And also the t-shirts. Buy a t-shirt from Keeping It Strong Style. Just go to their Twitter page at KI Strong Style, and all the money for that is going to a good cause. I'll tell you exactly what the good cause is. It is
I'm sorry.
To Lyrics Christmas Show charity for Feeding America. So it's fuck
the Brits. It's all about feeding us.
It is Feeding America and World Central Kitchen. So there we go. We'll go into the cause. So get one of those awesome t-shirts. I've bought 2 of them. And yeah, they're really good. Very, very cool design. And yeah, that's it. That's all the pluggaroos.
Okay. Listen, the Hub, I've been to the Hub before, so I know the spot exactly. Yes, you'll have a great time. I'm so excited for you guys. All meet up, have a couple pints, fucking talk some wrestling, talk bullshit. It should be a good time. You guys are going to have a blast. So yes, if you're going to Tokyo and you're listening to this, you got to go. I mean, you just got to go. There's really no other option. You got to fucking go. And I'm looking forward to seeing pics from everyone on the meetup.
So before we get into the actual specifics of the card, the match-by-match minutiae of Wrestle Kingdom 20, where are you at, Damon, on the buzz-ometer?
I'm pretty good, actually. Like I'm actually, like I'm not, as you know, I'm not like I'm bouncing off the walls or anything, mind you, yet. But I feel it percolating. Like I feel it bubbling. As much as I think, quite honestly, I did feel a little bit more right after watching the Korakuen show. Of course, your epic snowfall thingamabob. I'm scale 1 to 10. I'm probably at like a 6, 7 right now. Sorry, I said that, but you know what I mean. I'm a 50-year-old guy. I shouldn't be saying 6, 7, but that's really where I'm at. And I know it's going to as the days come closer to January 4th, I know I'm going to be even more excited. Like I can't imagine anything being in the way of ramping it up. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. How about you? I mean, I know you're going. There's a completely other level of excitement, but for the actual show itself, where are you at?
Yeah, I'd say about the same. Like it's taken me a while to get my head around this card and understand the logic behind it. And we discussed that all last week. That it's just a show for the casual audience, the people who are going to be watching on primetime TV. You've not even necessarily people who have not watched New Japan for a while. It could be people who've not watched wrestling for a while.
Right.
So there's all those things to take into account. That whilst this is not the New Japan hardcore super show of like 11 matches, like grueling 5-hour match after match after match, strong style specials, absolute hardcore purists wrestling dream with every title on the line. That's what I wanted, but that's not what we're getting. But there's enough there for me to be excited, and in a lot of ways, from what I'm hearing, I'm almost more excited about seeing what they have to offer for New Year Dash, because I think in a lot of ways Dash is going to be a truer reflection of what New Japan is going to look like in 2026 than Wrestle Kingdom is. Wrestle Kingdom, it's like, your WrestleMania, isn't it? It's all the spectacle, the one-off showcase stuff, and they'll do what they can to hook those casual fans and Lattice fans into continuing to watch, but it's got to answer to a lot of masters. There's a lot of political stuff and, the TV Asahi demands and all of that, which mitigate that somewhat, even if it's not the card that I want. So, yeah, I'd say in terms of the actual matches that are announced, I'm about a 6. But when I wake up on January the 4th and, put my Yota Tsuji t-shirt on and my United Empire hoodie on and actually, start making my way there and then get off at whatever station it is, and I'm walking down Suidabashi and I see the Tokyo Dome and start seeing the fans, seeing other people wearing the merch, then that is very quickly going to become like a 9, maybe even a 10, depending on how many alcoholic beverages I consume. So yeah, there's absolutely going to be a live bump, and there's just so many different things that could happen on this show. It could be an absolute home run that sets up New Japan for a glorious 2026, or it could be a complete disaster. I wouldn't say single point of failure. I'd say there's like 2 points of failure, 2 load-bearing matches on this card that if they go wrong, we're in trouble. And we'll get onto that. But yeah, I would say I'm kind of excited, but mildly terrified in equal measure.
So, I mean, honestly, I would have to they would have to go 0 for 3 for me to completely just have a meltdown. And of course, that's the world title match. That's the Tanahashi retirement. And like, if Aaron Wolf just looks like utter dog shit, right?
So, I mean, it's not even the Tanahashi match. It is how does Tsuji look? How does Aaron Wolf look?
Okay, I'm with you.
More on Aaron Wolf.
Right. I mean, I think the idea of the spectacle of Tanahashi's last match, and again, it feels like it can go either way. And again, don't be surprised if it is Okada, and then they just they try to give you the logic. It's pro wrestling. Like I want the underdog to win because they can do that. And I know that we talked about it at quite great lengths in previous shows about how great it would be if Hiroshi Tanahashi was able to pick up the win because the energy and the vibes would be high. But this is a company that traditionally doesn't do that. They don't let logic fly in the face of a good time.
But in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, but I don't think whether or not Wrestle Kingdom 20 is a success is going to be judged on who wins the main event. I think, we'll get onto it, but Tanahashi winning would be a nice treat. But if Okada wins, no one's really going to care that much, are they?
Right. In the big grand scheme of things, it's not. But I don't know. I kind of just want the biggest crowd that the Tokyo Dome has seen for professional wrestling in quite a long time to walk out of there just euphoric. And even though the idea and the prospect of Tanahashi losing and then the celebration afterward and everyone can get back there, I just think that building, I just want 40,000 people to walk out of there with a gigantic smile on their face. I really do. So again, but that's not a deal breaker. Wolf, if I'm not looking for, I'm not looking for 5-star, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be plenty of smoke and mirrors. It's going to be a fun, we'll put in air quotes, pro wrestling match. And then you have your world title, where, you really are looking for Tsuji to walk away with the title. You really are hoping that's the case. If they go 0 for 3, oh boy, we've got some rough roads ahead of us. But I'd like they'd have to go 0 for 3 for me to just have a meltdown. Now, are you going to Dash?
No, I'm flying back the next day, so I don't even know when I'm going to get to watch it.
Okay.
I imagine I'll be watching it during my 14-hour layover in Shanghai.
Oh, gosh. 14 hours. Ooh. Goddamn, dude.
No, it's fine, actually, because our flight arrives in the evening, and we're booked into a hotel, so we're just going to try and get some sleep.
Okay. Good. All right, so that's where I'm at for Kingdom. I'm excited to see. And again, we've been doing this for a long time, and I think one of the more depressing moments of this show was talking about that near empty, COVID feared Wrestle Kingdom. Right? That was just like, so depressing. That said, we are the opposite when it comes to people and bodies in a building, and a lot of times that can make a show that might not be as great as we had hoped. It might give it an extra push to put it in that category just because a crowd can make a show. It really can. A crowd can break a show too. I'm very curious to see how the crowd reacts to everything other than the Tanahashi stuff. because again, I know a lot of people are there just for that. But I'm curious to see if again those lapsed fans, if they can find something to cling on to and get behind it. And I have faith in it. I have faith that they do. I don't think they're going to be sitting on their hands, bored out of their mind, waiting for Hiroshi Tanahashi. I think that they will, even if they don't know a fucking single soul, they're going to get into it. I'm not too concerned about it. Like if you're a pro wrestling fan, if at one point in your life you are a pro wrestling fan, especially a pro wrestling fan, a New Japan pro wrestling fan, it's like riding a bike, right? You're not gonna lose a beat. So I'm curious to see how that goes as well.
Yeah, just having that sold out Tokyo Dome is such a gift, isn't it? Like there's a real opportunity there to just sow the seeds for some exciting stories and get some stars over. And I'm under no illusions, right, that it's not going to be a sellout next year, right? We know a lot of those fans, if you could put on the absolute best show in the world and they're not going to come back next year, but they've got to try their best to convert as many of those into repeat fans, people are going to tune into Dash. And I'm just really interested to see, dig into the construction of the card and talk about the matches that they've picked and the people that they've picked to showcase and try and understand the rationale behind it, even if it's not the people we would have gone with, and sort of unpick what would be best case scenario, worst case scenario, because like I said, like the variance in outcomes here is vast, which is what makes it such an intriguing show. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see, just as an attendee, what a sold out Tokyo Dome looks like and feels like, just like what the vibes are like in there and what kind of people or moments they react to, like who's going to get big responses. And there'll be some surprises there, I'm sure they're going to vibe with some people I didn't expect them to, and not react to people I hope that they would. So there's just so many unknowns, so many moving parts to this, that it's a really tricky show to predict, because I don't feel like I've got my finger on the pulse of New Japan as much as I did even 5 years ago. Like the more I do this with you, Damon, the less certainty I have about New Japan, because you used to be able to set your watch by their booking tropes, but now we're not so sure. All the things that we think, oh well, they're never going to do that, they do that now. Or stuff that they're definitely going to do that, they don't do that anymore. So yeah, this could go anyway, right? And I suppose we'll just get into it. We have first of all, right, so there's the kickoff match. We've got a kickoff match, which is the 15-minute time limit NJPW World TV Championship. And I had a good belly laugh on the Korakuen Road to Tokyo Dome show when it was the ELP Open Challenge, and the X did turn out to be Taguchi. Like every time it's Taguchi, it really is a big smile on my face. But it's not going to be Taguchi at the Tokyo Dome. So they did the post-match stuff with puppets. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention, but it was Chris Brooks from DDT who made an appearance and attacked ELP. So it's Chris Brooks who's going to be the challenger at the Tokyo Dome. So the New Japan World TV Championship, it's sunk, hasn't it? Like it was never like an ultra prestigious title, but when Zack Sabre Jr. had it, and to a lesser extent when Tanahashi had it, it felt like it meant something and it had an identity. And there were some really killer matches with that. But now, I'm sitting there watching ELP and Taguchi doing like the slow motion wrestling gimmick, and this is fun, it's entertaining, but what is this? What's the vision for this title? Is this just like opening match comedy thing? Like, is this taken the spot that the KOPW Championship had? Because it doesn't feel like it's a prestigious title that prize fighters are going out there to win. But having said that, this Chris Brooks thing is quite interesting. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, Damon, I've never watched a Chris Brooks match in my life.
Okay.
Listeners have got recommendations from me. Sure, I'll check stuff out. And he's a DDT wrestler, and I have to sort of ask myself, what is he doing in this spot? Is this just because he's well liked? He's good friends with people in New Japan, friends with El Fantasma, friends with Zack. Is that them doing him a solid? Is this them doing DDT a favour? Is this sort of in the interests of sort of cross-promotional goodwill? Because if it's that, I'm not really interested, to be honest. I don't want us New Japan to be doing favors for other companies on their bigger show of the year in a sold-out Tokyo Dome. If this is to facilitate some kind of soft jump or hard jump or any kind of texture jump for Chris Brooks to join New Japan Pro Wrestling, yeah, then it makes sense to me. Because poaching wrestlers from other promotions, it's good when it's the promotion that I like and I follow doing it. It's bad when other promotions do it. When New Japan do it, it's good and cool. And they should do it more, to be honest. They should be, throwing their weight around and showing their muscle to assert themselves as the, the dominant force in the Japanese pro wrestling scene. So, I'm saying that, like, I've never watched Chris Brooks in my life. I don't know what value he brings, but I would like them to poach him, because otherwise, what is this match for?
Well, I'll tell you what. So, one, I've seen him a few times, and it was, I believe, when he was working with Progress, I want to say, and he was very active on those independent shows, probably like 5 years ago, maybe even a little bit more. I think he's good. I'm surprised at not only his involvement, but others. Like, it feels like there's a lot more to this DDT thing than what I guess maybe we were led to believe. So his involvement kind of solidifies the fact that, at least for me, and at least for one night, there is some type of synergy there. Now, how that looks in the relatively near future, I have no idea. I really don't. But it does add a little bit of spice and a little bit of, oh, okay, this is something new. 2, or I guess I'm at point 3. I like the fact that this is an opening type match, or at least a pre. Is it officially the first match, or is it pre-show match?
Yeah, it's a pre-show match. So we had a question from Captain Gonzo, says, which match do you think just had 50 minutes of time cut to squeeze a TV title defense on the card? No, I don't think that's the case. And I know people were like frothing at the mouth when this was announced, like, they couldn't get Yuya or Shota or Knockout Brothers or Oya on the card, but we're putting fucking Chris Brooks there. Like, I don't. That's not a problem to me. Like, if it's the pre-show match, whatever, it's not the main card, then it doesn't count. If it's not the main card, I can't see it. That's fine. But yeah.
So again, the whole idea of the TV title being a 15-minute sprint, I'm okay with this. Like I know this is a usual spot where I lose my fucking mind. I'm actually okay with this. You got two guys that, if I'm not mistaken, have worked together. If I'm not mistaken, have worked, I don't want to say often, but enough times to have some familiarity. 15 minutes. It's a title. While it's not the most prestigious title, and I think that, again, I'll say it once more, that guys make titles, and titles don't make guys. This could be interesting. This could be really a good way to kind of warm you up to, unfortunately, what they do is from a broadcast perspective is they have that match, and then there's like what is it, like a half an hour? It feels like a fucking forever, because it's in the middle of the night for me. So it's like, oh, come on, just get to the fucking show. I got toothpicks in my eyes, so we'll hold them up. I think this is going to be a nice way to kick off things. So, no, would it be great to have New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers? And I put that in air quotes at this point. I don't know what the fuck's happening. In that spot, yeah, I see where people can gripe. I see where people can have a little bit of a, what the fuck we doing? Again, this show, I'm not using this show as a launching point for anything except possibly this match. Who knows? If this fucking hits a home run, I think all bets are off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know where this leads to a DDT relationship, but they're involved in this fucking show, so it would kind of lend you to believe that there's something in the works, possibly, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Burning Hammer says, should New Japan sign Chris Brooks / will they do it? I mean, like I said, I would only be given a spot on a show like this if they were signing him. Should they sign him? Well, he seems popular enough. He got quite a good reaction from the crowd when they did that angle. So, yeah, I think New Japan should be a bit more aggressive in talent acquisition from other Japanese pro wrestling companies because we're having it done to us, so we should do it to others. We should let the violence trickle downwards. I don't think he will, though. I mean, from what I understand, he's pretty loyal to DDT, so I'm just taking this at face value that this is just a cool inter-promotional match between two foreign guys who are pretty popular. Could the title change hands? Maybe. Defend on DDT, like do some wacky stuff there. I don't really care. If it's, I'm not going to be putting my foot through the TV if DDT wrestler is holding the NJPW World TV Championship. I mean, it's.
I mean, we had Hiromu holding the Noah Jr. It does feel like, and again, I could be dead wrong, but it does feel like there's a lot of synergy between at least Japanese pro wrestling groups. We've always had it to a certain degree. I mean, Yuji Nagata winning the fucking All Japan tag titles or just shit like that happens all the time.
And I should jump in, Damon. Like earlier this year, they did the Yano versus Super Sasadango Machine DDT New Japan crossover show, which was a lot of fun. It was really good. So maybe this is just sort of continuing that burgeoning relationship between the two companies, which at one point was quite tetchy, quite spicy. And, New Japan have not been shy about poaching their talent before. You look at Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, so could be more of that, or it could be the olive branch of friendship and cooperation and collaboration. I don't really know what to make of it this early on.
Yep, and neither do I. And again, even if it is just a one-off thing, I'm okay. Like again, if this was a conversation about poaching talent, and specifically Chris Brooks, say 5 years ago, 7 years ago, that might be a real interesting thing. I don't know if now, and I'll be fair, it's not like I sit there and watch a best of Chris Brooks compilation in the past 5 years. That said, 5 years is a long time in pro wrestling. Let's put it that way. So let's see if this is worth the time and investment. Right now, I am more than willing to be open-minded about it.
Yeah, and I think that seems to be it as far as pre-show matches go. I mean, they might announce something else between now and then, but just looking at the state of the first match on the main card, I don't know if there's going to be that many wrestlers left if we're going to do a traditional Rambo, because the first match on the main card is the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Championship Tornado Rambo. So Tornado Rambo, I don't know if that means that all the teams start off like they're all there, or they're coming. Is it a gauntlet match? I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, and I'm not going to look them up. Let's leave that as a fun little uncertainty for the listener. Oh, Arsenal nearly scored. So we have got the champions, Master Wato, Yo, and Toru Yano, and they're defending against, deep breath, we've got the team of Oleg Boltin, Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto.
Okay.
Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, Togi Makabe.
Wow.
Satoshi Kojima, Taichi, and Tomohiro Ishii. So they did a little angle at Korakuen Hall yesterday where Ishii came back and the three of them decided to team up. Ishii looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. He looked particularly disinterested in this, which was quite funny, but that's quite a cool team on paper. We got Kanemaru, Sanada, and Ren Narita. Clark Connors, Oscar, and Yuto Ice. Hartley Jackson, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. Goal! Finally, that took long enough. Who's that? Was that Calafiore? I don't know. It was a bit of a scrappy one. And the other team will be Shota Umino, Yuya Uemura, and Takeshi Kaisei, who was the guy that I was talking about, who used to be in a J-pop band. He was like an idol, and now he wrestles for DDT. So it seems like they've teamed him up with the two other handsome young men from the New Japan roster, Yuya and Shota, to have like the handsome boys team. So yeah, it's a lot of wrestlers in this match, really, and a lot to talk about. So with Takeshi Kaisei, I could be posing the same questions as I did about Chris Brooks. What is the intention here? Is this TV Asahi saying, we want the J-pop twink on the show, please get him on there. We don't care if he doesn't wrestle for your promotion, just make it happen, please. So maybe that's just something that they were told to do, and they've just put this handsome team together because of J-pop. Maybe they are trying to poach him. I don't know. That would seem a bit... I mean, he's not been in DDT that long. This is not like a guy like Chris Brooks who's sort of been there, done that, achieved everything there is to achieve in DDT. This is a guy who's only just joined them. So that would be...
talking about him like he's a blue chipper, right? Nobody's talking about him like he's like, like this rising, promising, guy that you could hitch your wagon to in the next 5 years, right?
Well, I don't know. Like, again, I've not seen him wrestle. I've not done the most basic research, but all I know is that he is a name that carries with it some kind of sort of mainstream pop culture weight. So, yeah, it's a big get for DDT. Like that was fairly big news when he joined them in the first place. So, again, I think New Japan should be really aggressive and should be trying to poach people like this. But that's not how I interpret it. I think this is just we want to have the J-pop guy on this card because there's lots of people watching. So, yeah, what's your interpretation of Takeshi Kaisei being involved in this? So is it like same as a Chris Brooks thing, just companies playing nice together, or what?
It feels like it. Again, I've not heard anything about, this is a guy that's on New Japan's radar where, or to be truthful, this is the first time I'm hearing his name, to be quite frank. So it's not like, to me anyway, and at least the circles that the pro wrestling circles that I'm in, it's not like, this is like a buzzworthy type of guy where it's like, again, he's this blue chip prospect that, it's not like it's a wolf, let's put it that way. That being said, he might fucking impress all of us, and we'll be like, "Yep, what are we doing? Is the ink, is the ink dry yet on the 1 day deal, or can we extend this?" It does feel like though this match does have it's got to be like a enter in intervals kind of thing, because just the names
forever if they did that. There's so many guys there.
There's so many guys. There's not enough room on the apron for all of these people. Yeah, it's going to be a clusterfuck if that's the case. So I feel like it almost has to be in intervals. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to switch the titles here. I mean, what would it hurt? I mean, we talked about the TV title being like, all right, is this on its last legs? Is this just like the new KOP title? The Never Six-Man titles. And I will also say the Never Six-Man titles can violently switch from, all right, this might be interesting, to holy shit, I don't fucking care. And very quickly and very aggressively. Again, teams and wrestlers make titles. Titles don't make wrestlers. I wouldn't care if they switched it. I hope they do switch it so that I can remember who the fuck the champion is. That's where I am right now with the Never Six-Man title.
Yeah, if we have a winner where I could ask you in a month's time, Damon, who are the six-man champions? And you'll be like, oh, of course, it's Oleg Boltin and Bishamon because of their triumphant, dominant performance at Wrestle Kingdom in that match that everyone enjoyed. Then, yeah, that's a win. But I mean, it's probably just going to end up with Wato, Yo, and Yano. They're probably just going to successfully defend it. But I suppose the other talking point coming out of this is looking at some of the big names that are involved in this.
Zach is the one.
10 pounds of shit in your £5 bag, where we've got Goto, who was, felt like the ace of the promotion earlier in the year. We got Zack Sabre Jr., Yuya and Shota, who felt like, they should have been in prominent spots on this card. Even Knockout Brothers, who were making big waves and attracting attention. Rumors circulating that WWE are interested in them. So, yeah, there's a lot of guys here that you might have reasonably expected to be in bigger spots on this card who were just crammed into this clusterfuck match. And yeah, are there any of those names I've mentioned or any others that you think are really egregious or unforgivable, or is this just like the Wrestle Kingdom thing? You know, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. It's not necessarily a reflection of your value to the company.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year's Wrestle Kingdom is just that. I mean, you go up and down this card, and there's plenty of multi-man tag matches that, again, bigger stars in the company that all throughout the year that, you know, have carried the promotion to this point. You know, they're doing multi-man tags. It's just what it is this year, right? Again, I can't sit there and say, well, this guy should have a singles match. Well, now we're up to 11 matches, right? And it just wasn't going to happen. It just the logistics of it just can't possibly fucking happen. So, again, I think the wrestlers understand that. I don't think there is a jealousy factor or anything of that nature. I think everybody's looking forward to a big full building, a nice payday, and you know, we'll see what happens. You know, again, Dash is the most important thing. Like, if you have guys that are just like ignored at Dash, then all right, maybe a little concerning. But truth be told, Dash is one thing, and it does feel like it's a reset. But you know, New Beginning is really where things happen. I feel like that's the hard reset button. Dash can lead to stuff at New Beginning.
New season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the names that you rattled off, Zach is top of the list for me of a guy who's like, wow. That's a lot of it is swallowing your fucking pride and just saying that I'm doing what's right for the company and business for this night. It really is. And this is not even to say that the match will be bad. I think the match will be very good. I just think there's going to be a lot of fucking moving parts to make it good, and it can fall apart very easily. But yeah, I think the good news is that you have tons of guys that are pros that can navigate the idea of all those bodies, and making sure that everybody gets their shit in, everybody gets something to smile about. That's the hardest part, really, in a match like that, is making sure everybody's happy. Not only because, again, a lot of people are sacrificing for the betterment of the company and the night. We're still talking about pro wrestlers, and they want to make somewhat of an impression on the night. And that's going to be the hardest part to navigate, is making sure that everybody not only enters, but leaves with a smile on their face.
Well, I'm almost wondering, in a way, like if, let's say, Kaisei, Takeshi, and Yuya and Shota win the match, and you get a nice little moment, all photos of them in the ring at the end with the Never Six-Man titles, and that's, you know, plastered over the Japanese magazines, Tokyo Sport, whatever, like, you know, maybe even more sort of mainstream magazines than that. That weirdly might actually do them more sort of mainstream good than, you know, let's say they'd had like a killer singles match together, or been in a tag title match or something that got all of us hardcores like, oh, that was a great 4.5-star match. But, you know, having this little, you know, they could just do like a little 4-minute thing at the end of the match, win these titles, and that might actually get more eyeballs on them in a weird way.
You know, you're right. You know, it's something that again, it's not for me, it's not necessarily for you, but you can see the value in that. Again, I don't know how big of a star this dude was. I don't know how big of a, you know, an influence he was and how popular he was in the J-pop community. I can't answer. I don't know. But again, what the goal of this show is eyeballs and converting eyeballs and buzz. This is the first time in a long time, Joel, that truly there is a buzz outside of our little circle of New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. Like, I guarantee you that, like, and it always happens wherever you go, it's like, oh, here's a dumb American in my country. Why are you here, dumb American? And you say, oh, I'm here for, New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom, Tokyo Dome. And, you know, sometimes you get, Stan Hansen, you know. Oh, no, well, yes, but that was a while ago. Yep, absolutely. I do remember. I think everyone will be Hiroshi Tanahashi. And yeah, you're right. Maybe this is just a vehicle to get, if those pictures are going to go out, if in fact they do win those titles. Nobody knows the value of the Never Six-Man titles. They just see gold shiny belt and they must be good, right? Okay, great. if that's going to be on, the insert of Tokyo Sports or the inserts of J-Pop Weekly, I don't know. That's a good thing, right? Mainstream press is always a good thing, except when something tragic happens and bad. This has the potential to get, at least people talking about it. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
And last word on this match, we're going to talk about Oscar and Yuta Ice and the rumors that WWE were interested. It wasn't one of the more mainstream outlets, so I can't remember. It's like some sort of breakaway news promotion. Like I know one of the people does have legit sources, so I'm sure there is something to it. I've asked around and I've not heard anything. Like if it is true, then they're keeping it very close to their chests. But there's not really a huge amount you can say about that. If WWE want to sign them, we're going to throw bags of money at them. That would surprise me, but it's just one of those things where it's fine. Like I'm okay if they join WWE because WWE's the best and biggest wrestling promotion in the world. That's okay if they're going to the very summit, the very peak of professional wrestling. But it's when they go to make lateral moves to partner promotions in North America that I think, what a waste. What could have been. So if they get signed by WWE, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm going to be real honest. I can't imagine that being the case. I just don't. Now, that's not to say that WWE doesn't always throw out feelers to just about anybody who has any type of buzz. They wouldn't be doing their due diligence if they didn't. I just don't see where WWE, like Paul Levesque, is not sitting around watching New Japan World, Knockout Brothers during a World Tag League. Like that just is not happening, right? So again, I'm kind of curious as to where that got traction because I heard it too, and I was like, really, of all people, and
maybe they're going to present them as Enzo and Cass. But just Enzo turned Japanese, guys. But this is Enzo and Cass. Trust us.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. I mean, listen. Again, I'm not doubting that it is, but I'm just very curious as to why. Of all teams, really them? Because I just don't think they're a good WWE fit. And again, stranger things have fucking happened. We've seen that. I just have not heard anything that would be the case. But again, stranger things have happened.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of big names in this.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of worked myself into hoping that Knockout Brothers would be the X and the XX in the new United Empire recruits. Just it's one of these situations where you get it quite often in New Japan, where wrestlers' popularity and heat rapidly exceeds their planned push. So I'm sure had the booking committee, the office, whatever, known that Knockout Brothers were going to be as popular as they are, then maybe they might have planned something different for them. I don't know, but New Japan don't seem to be very good at pivoting like that at the last minute and taking advantage of how hot wrestlers are, because they got their plans and it seems that that's what they stick to come hell or high water. But yeah, it does feel like a bit of a missed.
Aren't they main eventing Dash?
That's true. They are main eventing Dash. Yeah.
So and again, I know that we talked about it previously, but like if I'm Pro Wrestler X, pardon the pun. I don't know. Again, headlining Tokyo Dome, I get it, but like, okay, so you're on an 8-match show, you're match 6, okay, for the tag title, or would you rather be main event at Dash with a rabid fan? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if pay is impacted. I don't know.
They'll probably do like a really cool spot in the match where they're brawling with Zack and Oiwa and beating the crap out of each other and do a double ring out, double count thing. Yeah. Like, oh, bollocks! Crystal Palace have just equalised. Oh,
come on,
dear me. Yeah, I suppose we'll. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on.
We're probably overanalyzing
match
another
is
six-man title Rambo, but okay.
IWGP Women's and Strong Women's Double Championship match. The IWGP Women's Champion Syuri against the New Japan Strong Women's Champion Saya Kamitani. I'm sure this will be great. I mean, I know they're both really good wrestlers. I've seen a lot of Syuri matches. She's fantastic. Saya Kamitani, I don't think I've watched any Saya Kamitani matches, but I know she's like a big star in the Joshi world and in the sort of pro wrestling world writ large. She was the Tokyo Sports MVP, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I completely understand why this is on the card. I think it's cool. I hope they get enough time to do some good stuff. I can't really say a huge amount about it beyond that. I'm looking forward to it because I don't watch that much Stardom, and I know these are two of the better wrestlers on the roster. So, yeah, I'm excited for it.
No doubt. And every opportunity that they get on shows like Wrestle Kingdom and other decent sized shows, they always hit the fucking ball out of the park. So yeah, I'm not worried about quality. The only thing and again, we kind of knew that this would be the case, but all right. So you're never a 6-man title match. You have so many people in there, just the logistics of it. It's probably going to go longer than the women's title match. Don't you think?
Yeah, you just think sort of by entrances alone, that's
right.
going to take up a huge chunk of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know people are going to fucking lose their skull when that happens, and it might. Like, I just want you to be prepared for that. But here's the thing, too. We all knew that we were going to have sprints before intermission. These were all going to be sprinty type matches. I think we're in very good hands. I mean, again, we're talking about MVP type performances all year long. And why not here, in a, again, what people might consider a rush, and a little bit of a, well, why don't we give these people more time? I get that. I hear you loud and clear. We knew what we were getting into here. It's going to be good. It's going to be very good. It's going to be. It might be up there in a lot of people's match. Maybe not match of the night, but people will be talking about it. I think just because of the talent that's involved, and they always perform, they always deliver. So, again, for those wrestling purists who want to see a fucking 25-minute match, that's not happening here, kids. So I just want you to be prepared for that. But again, if you're into a sprint, if your ADHD kicks in the middle of the night, feel blessed that you have some neurodivergency, because it's going to be the undercard is going to go pop, 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 pop pretty quick.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another 5-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure. And we cover it every day at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it. And guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, remember, the machine knows if you're lying. First statement, Carvana will give you a real offer on your car all online.
False.
True, actually. You can sell your car in minutes.
False? That's gotta be...
True again. Carvana will pick up your car from your door, or you can drop it off at one of their car vending machines.
Sounds too good to be true, so true.
Finally caught on. Nice job. Honesty isn't just their policy, it's their entire model. Sell your car today, too.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
All right, then the third match is a special 10-man tag match where we've got the unaffiliated War Dogs team of Hiromu Takahashi, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, David Finlay, and Shingo Takagi against the United Empire team where we have Callum Newman, Great-O-Khan, Henare, and the person who is announced as the money behind United Empire, who's bankrolling them now, Andrade, or La Sombra, as he used to be known in New Japan. And we still have another X to be announced. So, again, a lot to dig into here. I mean, I'll just talk about the actual setup to the feud. I think this has been really, really well done. It feels like a feud that has a lot of heat behind it. And they've all done tremendous work during World Tag League to make this feel like a proper grudge match. And even in the multi-man tag preview matches, all the guys have been working really hard to make it seem like, these guys hate each other's guts. I think Callum Newman has been excellent from G1 onwards. I think he's shown a lot of attitude and personality, and I think he looks very ready to take the reins of United Empire if that is indeed what's going to happen. I think he's got very good sort of vicious heel instincts to him, so be really interested to see if this is a vehicle to make him a star in this match, to be like, yeah, United Empire reinvigorated. This guy's the leader and the ruthless new heel guy, because New Japan could be crying out for new heels, since David Finlay seemed to be that guy, but he's sort of drifted more towards the face end of the spectrum. He's more sort of like a tweener right now, so there is a gap to be filled, because aside from House of Torture, there isn't anyone else. So if they position United Empire as this sort of more heel-leaning faction with Callum at the head of it, I think that would be quite exciting. Good to see Hanare back. We've missed him. I'm a fan of his. I like his hard-hitting style. So, I'm sure whilst you might be tempted to hand wave.
Get some sleep. Good night.
Good night, Esther.
Where's Grumpy?
He's gone out.
Where?
Esther, I'm recording my podcast, so you need to be quiet, please. He's playing outside. So whilst you might be tempted to hand wave a 10-man tag match and the third match of Wrestle Kingdom card, I think this one's going to be really good. And I've not even touched on yet about the X and the XX. So Andrade was announced. I'm cautious on that one. It does seem like a very obvious stepping stone to him going back to AEW. I don't think it's going to last a particularly long time, so I don't have high hopes. I know he's a good wrestler, but I've not seen him have a great match for about a decade, to be honest. So I'm not holding my breath in that sense. Like, it could turn out to be good. Maybe he works New Beginning or New Japan Cup. We see how it goes, but I'm not expecting him to be a mainstay of the New Japan roster, and that's okay. I think it's cool to have big names like that parachute in, do a tour here and there, and then leave again. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm not saying, we're going to build the whole promotion around him. I am curious about who the other X is going to be, because, if it's a big name, you think you announce it before time to sell tickets, but all the tickets are already sold, so maybe that logic doesn't apply. Maybe this could be someone really big. I've no idea who it's going to be. Maybe it's someone from United Empire past, could be like a Will Ospreay or someone. But I feel if the intention here is to make Callum Newman look like the guy, we maybe don't want someone who's going to outshine him. I don't know, maybe Andrade's presence already does that. But honestly, maybe it's Jake Lee. Could be the returning Jake Lee, who's betraying the War Dogs to join United Empire. That would make sense to me. I'd be okay with that. But what do you think of the match and the X's and Andrade and all of that business?
Yeah, even from the jump, I was kind of in the Jake Lee camp of him returning and being one of the X factors in this match. Andrade. It does feel like, first of all, and correct me if I'm wrong, he has a no compete. That was a challenge or a problem when it came to AEW, and I know he can't really work in the States. So I think until that gets cleared up, he would be open to working dates, I would think. I think you're right in the sense that, to me, it doesn't seem like, and again, I haven't received no word whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down. I think both parties are taking this as, let's see how it goes. Right now, again, me looking at the tea leaves, it does feel like here's a guy who's looking for work that's outside of the national American-based companies, just because of the legalities of a no compete and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. WWE or you're not going to get that type of challenge per se. They're not going to take them to Japanese court, or I don't know how they work. I'm actually using Brock Lesnar as my template of people who had competes that still wrestled in Japan. That might change. Who knows, but. It just doesn't feel like a situation where the company and or him is willing to be like, okay, yep, sign me for 2 years and I'm here, blah, blah, blah. It does feel like, okay, let's take it month by month, maybe 2 months by 2 months, and see how we fly and see what the situation, lies. We're not going to give you too much commitment in in-ring stuff because you're going to fuck up our storylines. But in the same breath, we recognize that we can make some money off each other, and let's see how that works. That's really the vibe I get from this. And it's a name, and it's a name that people recognize. So again, do I think that he's a type of person that where, oh, well, he's on the show, I gotta find a way to shell over $20 this month for New Japan World? Probably not, but it does make an interesting card already, a little bit more interesting and a little bit more buzzworthy to the average Joe pro wrestling fan.
So I had a few questions about this. Chiba Man, Captain Gonzo says, what else do you give on Andrade still being around past February? Is United Empire putting a Band-Aid on a gaping flesh wound? I mean, past February, probably not. I would think, maybe he works a match at New Beginning and that'll be that.
That's my
perhaps New Japan Cup if you're lucky, but yeah, I'd probably just say New Beginning. Band-Aid on a gaping flesh wound. I don't think so. I think Callum Newman has done really good work, and I've been higher on him than most have. I think he had a really excellent G1, and if he is committed to New Japan, if he's a guy that you can, make sure you got locked down for another 2-3 years, absolutely, you build a faction around him. Why not? He seems hungry. He's up for it. He's got good persona. He seems to have a lot of charisma. So yeah, I think he's almost sort of reminds me of Jay White in a lot of ways, actually, in terms of his talent and his aura. I think, yeah, he's a guy. If you build around him, then there's a lot of upside to him. Are you with me on that? You fan of Callum?
Yeah, you can be, or he can be, if the company gave the opportunity. I have all the faith in the world in him. And again, just in the small sample size that we have right now, I think I've been not even surprised. I've been pleased with the results. And if they really said, okay, we're going to give you the ball, I'm willing to give it the shot. Absolutely, no doubt. Yeah, I think. Look, I think on that roster you have a lot of people that are diamonds in the rough, and you just haven't dug enough. And I say I mean New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah, have some balls, step up. Let's give him the ball, and let's see what the kid can do. I think it's a good. Look, he has done nothing for me to sit here and be like, no, that's a terrible idea. No, not at all. Like let's lean into it a little bit. Let's see what we got, because quite honestly, going into this year, you're going to need that. You're going to need people to step up. And if they said, okay, we're giving you this opportunity, I think he'll make the most of it. I really have no concerns about him right now. Like his entire run so far in New Japan has been based off of good to very good matches and just kind of floating around being a guy. Like he really hasn't had an opportunity to stand out, and losing in makeshift championship matches. I'm not counting. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I think if they decided to make him a guy, I think it's just a really fucking smart move. I think they have a talent there.
And I just will add that he seems to have invigorated people around him. Like you look at Great O'Khan and Jacob Austin Young, they look like they've had a fire lit under them. So it seems like the United Empire is a faction to watch. I'm expecting a lot of factional shake-up, but I think they might plant the seeds for it here, where something's going to go down that's going to make you think, oh, I want to be watching tomorrow at New Year Dash. I want to be watching at New Beginning to see how this one plays out, because, yeah, I see this is the new chapter to the new season rather than sort of wrapping up an old story. So, yeah, I'm quite interested in that one. David Combe says, with Andrade being revealed as the first X, who do you think will be the other? Someone as WTF as Andrade, or someone more sensible / reliable, or Taguchi? Yeah, Taguchi.
Taguchi is probably going to come out and then get jumped from behind by Jake Lee, who will take his spot. I am still going with Jake Lee being the other X.
Yeah. I'll be into that. I like Jake Lee. Missed him. All right, then. So that brings us to the fourth match, where we have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship number one contenders four-way match with El Desperado, Kosei Fujita, Taiji Ishimori, and Sho. Yeah, this is a weird one because you would normally be expecting the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion to be taking part in Wrestle Kingdom, especially with what went down in that match last year with Doki getting that terrible injury. You think you'd at least want to have him in the match or on the show, but the double champion, the ace of the junior division, cannot be found with a search party on this Wrestle Kingdom card, which is very strange. So I'm trying to make sense of that. So this is how I'm perceiving the match. So I think this match is all about Kosei Fujita. They want to make him look like the star and the future ace of the division. They've given him a lot. He's had a lot of high-profile spots. He's won Best of the Super Juniors. He had Tanahashi's final singles match prior to Wrestle Kingdom. And I think this match has been constructed to make him look like a star for that casual audience. So we've got established name. He's going to go over established names like Desperado and Ishimori. And there's Sho, who I think is going to be there. This is the way I've made sense of it, that he is going to be like the cartoonish villain who's playing to the back seats. And I think we may even have Doki ringside in this match, and he's going to be like telling Sho, like giving him weapons and saying, "Oh, get Fujita, make sure he doesn't win, injure him, make sure he doesn't, get anywhere near me on my title." So something like that. I see this as being some sort of hook, so the fans can see Fujita win this and think, "Oh, I can't wait to see him get his hands on that dastardly, cowardly Doki." Who I would be shocked if he makes no appearance whatsoever during the show. That would be insane to me. So I think it's just going to be like House of Torture playing the numbers game, and this should be like no more than 15 minutes, just absolute 100 miles an hour high spots, dives, big crashes, just like bang 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 bang, just absolute brain candy, where they go a million miles an hour. And Fujita comes out at the end of it, overcoming the odds, not only beating the two established former stars in Despi and Ishimori, but managing to overcome House of Torture and all their dastardly cheating shenanigans. So the spotlight is on Fujita, and rather than wrapping up his story and that being the end of his story, we're like, oh, look, we've seen him climb to the peak and become junior champion. He's not yet junior champion. You see him win this number one contenders match, but you're still left with that chase and that hunger. Oh, now I want to see him go and win the big one, Dash or New Beginning or whenever it is. So that's how I'm making sense of it. Now, is it how I would have booked it? Absolutely not. I think this is preposterous. But again, this is what I think they are going for.
Yeah, I think what you laid out is exactly what, now that they've kind of put themselves in this corner, it's exactly what should happen. Now, I still have fever dreams thinking that, Taiji Ishimori is just going to win this clean, and that's going to be
yes.
You know what I mean? I do have that in the back of my mind. But what you laid out is really the most ideal scenario. Again, the chase might be better than, right now anyway, the chase might be better than him actually winning the title in the Dome. And again, I would be very surprised if Doki's not, doesn't even show face on this show. And that would be the perfect example of how I would use him if, again, we've already have the, given the cards that we have dealt with, that what you laid out is probably the best scenario. And yeah, it does seem like that would be the logical thing to try their best to, and again, they've already done it with the idea of the people in the last Korakuen really seeing him shine, and again, not getting the win over Hiroshi Tanahashi, but really looking strong and looking good. And there were some harrowing moments, and moments where maybe you thought, okay, this could happen, which again kind of leads me to what you laid out, right? So all the ducks are in a row for what you had laid out. A guy taking care of all obstacles in his way to then set up if Doki, if this were a singles match, I'd be walking out with a title, but come February, that title's mine. So, and hopefully that translates into a little bit more of a buy-in from, again, you don't need 40,000 people to be converted. You need 5, really, or 10 to really, put a dent in some numbers and get a little buzz going. And again, if these are the cards that were dealt, what you laid out is probably the best case scenario.
I just want to pick your brains briefly on the Tanahashi Fujita match, because I know some people were quite disappointed that Fujita didn't win, or didn't look particularly competitive. I don't know. I don't think there's any drama there. I think just the prestige of being given that spot, the final New Japan opponent for Tanahashi, is a huge honor and a privilege, and I don't think anyone's going to remember the actual dynamics of the match itself.
I agree. I mean, we talked about it. There's a reason why he wrestled juniors. It just doesn't happen. Juniors just don't necessarily beat heavyweights, especially a Hiroshi Tanahashi in his last match in Korakuen Hall. Again, we could sit here and fucking fantasy book till the cows come home, but logic did dictate that he was. I thought he looked good. I didn't think he looked weak. I don't think it was like a fucking squash or anything like that. I know. I think you're right too, in the sense of people will remember his last match, and him being in that spot, but I don't think people are going to necessarily remember the details of him losing that match. I don't think so.
All right then. So now we'll get to the business end of the card. 5th match, 60-minute time limit. Never Openweight Championship. Aaron Wolf debut. So we've got the Never Openweight Champion, Evil, defending against the challenger, Aaron Wolf. So here we go. I mean, this is, I would say, the biggest load-bearing match on the card in terms of what New Japan need to achieve here. They don't need Aaron Wolf to look like the reincarnation of Kenta Kobashi, but he just needs to not be shit, right? He just needs to have a competent performance here. And I feel people have been over-analysing Aaron Wolf's performances in the pull apart brawls and the run-ins and everything they've been doing, because there's only so much you can do with that, and he's not been doing this a particularly long time, so I'm just ignoring all that for now, to be honest. I want to see what he looks like in the ring, and I'm quietly confident with this one. I know Evil's taken him under his wing, and I'm sure they've rehearsed and practiced this to death. Like, they're going to know exactly what they're doing. I'm not worried about anyone getting lost in this match or messing anything up. And I totally understand why people would have that fear. And I've got a teeny bit of that fear as well, that I'm like, what if this all goes completely wrong? David also wrote another question: will you laugh or cry if it turns out Aaron Wolf is shit? So I think I would cry. I think this is really important that he's not, but I don't think he will be. I think he's going to be good here. I think they're going to keep it simple. I don't think they're going to do anything particularly complicated here. They'll have it all laid out to a T. We'll have loads of run-ins. Again, it's going to be playing to the back row for the casuals, for the people watching on prime time terrestrial TV. This is who this match is for. They're watching. They want to see what Aaron Wolf looks like, and it's going to be, classic British World of Sport Saturday morning. Kids cheering for the good guys and booing the bad guys. It's going to be absolute Pro Wrestling 101, where he's going to be hopefully throwing all the members of the House of Torture in the bin, and we'll get some nice gifable moments and nice moments that are going to make for great photographs that are going to go on all the magazine covers and website pages and everything. And I'm pretty confident that we're going to come out of this with Aaron Wolf not necessarily looking like a pro wrestling god or anything, but someone that people are going to be excited about watching in the future.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look in the history of pro wrestling and how, again, movie stars, TV stars, YouTube stars, you name it. Every fucking walk of life, there has been involvement of people that may not have all the pro wrestling chops in the world get involved physically in a pro wrestling match. And a lot of times they are more than passable, right? So now we're talking about a world-class athlete who has been wet nursed for many weeks by the very people that are in the ring, who, quite frankly, know what the fuck they're doing. Right? If someone tugs on the sweater string and the yarn starts unraveling, We have people in there that can calm everybody the fuck down, slow it down, and get back on track. I'm going to be honest. I'm not worried at all. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near this guy shitting the bed. Look, you mean to tell me that guy's not going to be nervous? You know that his music hits and he's going to be a slight trickle of urine is going to be running down his fucking leg. I got news for you. That's perfectly fine. Unless he has a kidney stone, and that's the case, because that would not be fine. So the idea of him going in there and just completely just losing everything, I don't think is happening. Again, is it going to be kept basic? Probably. Am I expecting the second coming, as you said, of Kenta Kobashi? No, I'm not. I'm expecting competence, a lot of smoke and mirrors, show off some physical traits, show off, dazzle with a couple of fucking judo tosses, get the flash bulbs popping, get the crowd into it, get the cameras ready for all the spots, have everybody take big bumps that they know they have to. I think we're in good shape. I really do. Again, I'm not asking this guy to go fucking 30 minutes. He's again been. They have probably practiced this match. He could probably do it in his sleep. Again, it's a big difference between doing it in the dojo and doing it in front of 40,000 people at the Tokyo Dome when the lights are brightest. I get that. He is a world-class athlete. I think he's had pressure on him before. And I'm confident. I really am. I think this will be really fun, really great. We'll get the moments and mission will be accomplished.
Now, do I dare open the can of worms to talk about who's winning this match? Because I cannot, in all faith and confidence, say there is no chance Evil is winning this match. I think there is a non-zero chance that New Japan will absolutely lose their mind here and book Evil to win. Now, I think that would be insane, and I don't think they will do it, and they absolutely should not do it. But do you think there is a chance that happens?
Yeah, there is. There absolutely is. And again, it's just what New Japan Pro Wrestling does. It's the guy's first fucking big profile match. Like, yes, that is on the table. Now, in the end, is he the guy that clears the ring and fucking tosses people around and what have you? Yeah. I mean, and I'll go so far as to say, I don't even think if he does win, he wins clean. It'll probably be a slip on a banana peel, a fucked up interference spot or something along those lines. So I don't even think it's a guarantee that it's like, 3 judo throws and a suplex and boom, well, here we are, 1, 2, 3. I don't think it's going to be as clean as that. I think, again, we're going to have plenty of smoke and mirrors. But him losing the match, yes. But once again, I don't think people will remember the fact that he lost the match as long as at the end of the day, he has taken somebody's fucking head off, or he's kicked so much ass, and the only reason he lost because of the dastardly cheating that House of Evil has done. But again, the last thing people will remember is that House of Torture got their fucking asses handed to them by this guy, and he would have won if it wasn't for all the fucking dumb cheating heel bullshit. It's on the table.
Sorry, I just muted myself.
That's all right.
Don't ask me why my children are still awake. This is unless it's me putting them to sleep, no one else is going to do it. So
they are excited as hell right now.
Yes. I think that would be a big problem. I don't want Evil to win this match, obviously, because we've seen so many people do exactly the same thing you laid out. They just all the cheating, the odds are stacked against them, and just the numbers game becomes too much. And House of Torture break the rules, and unfairly the babyface ends up losing, but they get a bit of revenge afterwards. Like we've seen that with so many guys. I don't want to believe that Aaron Wolf is just a guy. I want to see something different here. And if I do see, he got choked by the garrote wire from Dick Togan, then hit him the push-up wire with Red Narraton, Show hit him with the wrench, and then Evil hit him in the balls and then rolled him up with the tights and the ropes, and it was really unfair. I was going to think, okay, well, he's just another guy then. I need to see something different. I need to see something special here in terms of outcome. And I know you could make the case that, your casual fan, the person who's just tuned in on terrestrial TV, blah, 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 like they are not as jaded by the oversaturation of the House of Torture tropes. But I will be extremely unhappy if it's the usual House of Torture cheating and evil wins. I think we need to see something different here to show that Aaron Wolf is different and he is above the usual booking malaise.
We're on the same page, absolutely, and I agree 10,000%. The problem is that we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling,
right? And,
you know what I mean? Like they have their heads so fucking stuck up their ass in the sense of this is what we do. So yes, what you have said and laid out, I want. What you have said and laid out, I think is important to separate him from the pack. Absolutely. Look, the best part about this show is the absolute unpredictability of it. Like, I can't sit here and tell you, yep, Aaron Wolf's winning this fucking show or winning this match, hands down. I can't sit here and tell you, well, yep, New Japan does this traditionally, so I'm going to go. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what's making this show so beyond interesting. Like, it's almost riveting to me. Like, what the fuck are they going to do? Are they going to wake up and do this, or they're not? Or are you all just going to have a laugh at the end and be like, "Wow, that was all big fucking for nothing"? Yeah, there's a lot of stakes on the fucking table here. So, I hope they do what what you said. I don't know. I'm going to go with he loses the match but kicks ass in the end. To hedge my bets, but what you laid out, I think, is the best way to go. Kids running wild over there. The mute button is on.
I know. I've completely lost my. Oh my god.
Santa Claus is coming to town, Joel.
No, here's what I was going to say. Let's say Aaron Wolf wins, which I think he should. Yeah. Do you think being an absolute rookie pro wrestler and having the Never Openweight Championship would be a burden? That's the only thing that's given me pause here. Like, would they belt up a guy in his first ever wrestling match? I know it's only the Never Openweight Championship, but do you see what I'm getting at? That
I do.
Being a singles champion comes with certain expectations about quality, and to go from no pro wrestling matches ever to now you've got the third biggest singles. Well, I suppose by default it's now the second biggest singles championship in the company if Tsuji or Takeshita is going to be holding the other two. That's the only thing that gives me pause. Like, would they belt this guy up immediately like this? And I think they should, just with what I've said earlier, to make him seem like a big deal. Like, whoa, this guy won the Never Openweight title on his first ever match. But then there's part of me that's like, are they going to lump him with that this early in his career? I don't know. There's a lot of doubt in my mind.
I hear you. He could lose it in the next fucking title defense. You know what I mean? Like, that's on the table. I wouldn't have a problem with that. And I think it would be a built-in excuse of, hey, the guy, he was the adrenaline was flowing. All things were clicking for him this night. Okay. He's still got a lot to learn. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I do hear you. Like, the likelihood of him getting belted up right out of the gate, again, does lead me to believe that it's not happening. And again, he loses, but it winds up clearing house. But again, let's be a little crazy. This show is what it is because we're getting a little crazy. Let's lean into it. Listen, we went out, dude, to the bar. We did a shot. Why not do 3? Right? Hey, we're here. What do you mean? We're just doing 1? That's what I want from this night. I want a 3-shot night. And let's see where the chips fall.
6th match is the IWGP World Heavyweight and IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion double championship match where we got the world champion Konosuke Takeshita defending his world heavyweight title whilst against Yota Tsuji, who's defending his global heavyweight championship. It's Takeshita versus Tsuji, Damon. This is another, I'd say the only other match on this card where I think the outcome is load bearing here. To me, Konosuke Takeshita winning this match is unacceptable. You cannot have a part-timer, an AEW guy, winning what is arguably the most meaningful match on the card in terms of future consequences. You know, this is the World Championship. And when you've got sold-out Tokyo Dome, your Laps fans, casual fans, people watching on TV, copy and paste what I said before, to then have the AEW guy winning the world title match is inconceivable to me. That would be terrible and would make me seriously question my relationship, my fandom with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So to me, the only acceptable outcome here is Yota Tsuji winning. I think he is going to win. But again, you can never, there are no bad ideas off the table with New Japan in 2025, 2026, because there have been other times where I said, well, surely there's no way they're going to do X because it's a terrible idea and laid out why it's a terrible idea. And then they've gone and done that anyway. So again, that's why this makes it such an interesting and scary show to discuss and predict, because they could absolutely do that, even though I think it would be horrendous. So I think Tsuji must win this match, and they've got to have a killer match here. This has got to be a match of the year candidate. If we come out of this thinking, yeah, no, that was a pretty good 4.25 star match, that's a failure. They've got to have everyone talking about this one. And I know realistically everything's going to get swallowed up by the Tanahashi retirement, but this has got to be good. If Yota Tsuji is going to be taken seriously as a top guy in his company, and you know, like, all respect to New Japan for like actually picking a guy, he is their guy. And again, if we're looking at the structure of this card, you can see the guys they've picked. This is about Fujita, this is about Aaron Wolf, and this is about Yota Tsuji. So he's the guy that they've picked. I know a lot of people say he's not on the level of his predecessors of like a Naito or Okada or Omega or Ibushi or Tanahashi, whatever. And yeah, those were sort of generational talents, and maybe he's not at that level, but he is the guy that they've chosen, and I'm behind him because more than anything else, Damon, he's the guy that says what we're all thinking. And so often when we've had frustrations as a fan base, he has very eloquently said the same thing, and I've said, yes, that's my guy. You know, coming down to situations like him confronting Kazuchika Okada with the embarrassing way he'd left the company, to be going to his face saying, is this what you want? Are you satisfied? This is a disappointment. You're a disappointment in so many words. At that point, I was like, yo, this is my guy. We've got this guy's the future in New Japan, because he feels what we're all feeling. He's got the heart of the New Japan fandom. So he's got to win here, and it's got to be good.
Yep, I agree. Look, and this is the match that, quite honestly, has been positioned to be that, okay, we need that banger. Like, we need this to be something that we can say, okay, we have a guy. We have a guy. There's a lot of pressure, no doubt. Pressure makes diamonds. I don't think that there's any other match on this show that they're asked to deliver in a way that this match has to deliver. Keep in mind, all the names that you... First of all, one, I truly don't believe this is the same promotion that it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? I think that we have to somewhat temper expectations to a certain degree. That being said, the names that you mentioned, I feel like have all had a significant more of big spotlight moments and big pressure moments than Yota Tsuji. And now I'm not sitting here trying to pre-bake in excuses or pre-bake in stuff that to say, well, you know, a lot of pressure on the kid and blah, 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 blah. No. This is a big time spot, a big time, are you the guy or not? And again, that is a ton of pressure and a ton of expectations from a lot of people watching this product. That said, that's what the position entails. That's what you signed up for. So now it's shit or get off the fucking pot. And again, is it a little bit early in his career? Maybe, but you have two of the most talented guys on this roster in the ring in a big stakes, high energy, packed building that we're all like, well, we're waiting, and you got to deliver. Big time pro wrestlers come up big in moments like this. And at the very least, Joel, what this is going to do is this is going to weed out, do you got it or not? Are you a guy we can trust? Or not only trust, are you a guy that we are going to hitch our wagon to for 3 years, 5 years, what have you, right? And if you don't have it, like this is the fucking measuring stick. It's unbelievable, like how this one match will make or break this poor guy's career. I truly believe that. And when I say make or break, I don't mean you're going to be fucking working opening tag matches for the rest of your career. No. But are we going to give you the ball again? We're giving him the ball. Look, I think this is a slam dunk title change. It has to be. It really does have to be. Because so much for this company is riding on this to make this work and make this. He's still got to deliver. Like, it's all there for him. All he's got to do is fucking take the ball. You got an open net. I don't need you to kick it in the. I kind of do. I was about to say, you got an open net. I need you not to just trickle this fucking thing in. I need you to bury it in the upper corner. Sorry. Those are the stakes. Not only do we need a great match, we need a buzzworthy match because the company's future depends on it. I hate to say it, but it really does. And I don't think I'm being over dramatic with that.
No, absolutely. This is everyone. Well, I say everyone. Lots of people are tuning in because it's Hiroshi Tanahashi's last match, and out of, I suppose, curiosity for Aaron Wolf, you've got to convert some of those people into being Yota Tsuji fans. If they're not walking away or turning off their TVs or walking out of the Tokyo Dome thinking, wow, that Yota Tsuji guy is pretty fucking good, then that's a big failure. Like you said, it's a huge opportunity. It's on a plate. It's a penalty kick to win the World Cup. And he's got to put it away. And he's got to put it away emphatically because you don't get many better chances than this. So he has to deliver. And he's got to deliver something that's going to make a lot of these fans, as many of these fans as you can, keep watching and think, next time this guy is defending that title, I've got to be there because he's special.
And the good news is, the good news is that the two guys that are in that ring can do it. It's not like I'm asking a fucking miracle to be pulled, and Father Christmas fucking delivers us a gift that we never expected. We're not asking that. We're asking for go out there and seize the fucking moment, kid, because this is a star-making potential match for you. Cash in, make it happen, kick ass, take names, do it, and you have a great dance partner to do that with. So let's go. You know what? Let's put it this way, dude. We're in a position right now where it can happen, and I'll take that over. This main event has no buzz. This main event has no juice. The title's on the line, but I'm not feeling the stakes. There's so much in front of the camera and behind the scenes that is riding on the importance of this match. I don't think I'm overstating it. I don't think I'm fucking out of line with this. This is important, and what a time to be alive, right? Like it's your team's in the finals. You've made it this far. Deliver, make it happen. Fucking win, and let's hope for the best.
Yeah, I am guilty. I was guilty last year when on the run up to Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shota Umino of squinting to see it. I mean, like, it could be great if this happens, this happens, and this happens. And because I wanted it to be great, and it wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great. This could be great. All the ingredients are there for it to be great. And in a sold out Tokyo Dome, like, I hope the crowd are up for it. I hope they make some noise. And what I really want, Damon, and I don't think we'll get, but what I would really love is for Konosuke Takeshita to lean heelish, to really do what he should have been doing from day one consistently, which is leaning into being the cocky heel invading outsider, and really play up to that to get the New Japan fans on board. Like, they're going to be on board anyway, but let's have some really clear chemistry and dynamics in this match. This is the guy you need to boo. This is the guy we're cheering, and like really play up to that, because fans love that stuff. Like, remember the Wrestle Dynasty last year with Gabe Kidd showing the lion mark on his tights, having to defend the honor of New Japan against Kenny Omega. That works. I mean, it might seem a bit obvious and a bit cliche, but it works. That's what we want. People want to get invested in the story. This whole, unite the wrestling world thing with Takeshita has been a failure, but he has not emotionally resonated with the fans. And what will emotionally resonate with the fans is if he comes into this being like, I'm better than all of your homegrown favourites. I'm better than you, Tsuji. I've moonwalked into this company, won the biggest title. No way you're taking it off me. And then taking it from there. That's what they should do. I don't think they will do that, because I think it's gone on too long at this point with this bizarre, confused mishmash character that Takeshita is portraying. But if they could lean into it somehow in the match to really make the dynamics clear and get the crowd on board, I think that could elevate things and make things feel really special.
I agree. The only other thing that I need, Joel, is after the Tsuji wins the title and he's holding above, I need Kadani to hit the ring and rip up the AEW agreement. Just tear it right in the ring. That'd be the cherry on top. All right, very good. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, then the seventh match, Hiroshi Tanahashi retirement match. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada. Now, really, what else is there to say about this? I think in a lot of ways, whilst this is what everyone is here to see, that's what I'm here to see. That's why I bought the ticket. In a lot of ways, it's the least interesting match on the card, because I think we know what we're getting here. We're going to get a brilliant match between these two guys, and I don't know if it's going to be playing the hits and sort of calling back to the excellent rivalry they've had in previous matches, previous Tokyo Dome main events. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of that, or if they're going to take the story in a different direction. I don't know. There's so many possibilities here, but at the end of the day, I would love people to be coming out of this show not just talking about Tanahashi, but I want people to be talking about Yota Tsuji and Aaron Wolf and Kosei Fujita and Callum Newman and the like. So, yeah, in a lot of ways, this match is what brought us to the table, but it's not the most important match on the card. Now, that being said, it's going to be emotional. Let's take a step back, Damon. This the last ever Hiroshi Tanahashi match. Never going to see him wrestle again after this. And whilst we've all become a bit saturated with the grueling run that he's had this year, wrestling everyone on the roster apart from Ren Narita, this is it. The final match. And it's not sunk in for me yet. Like, just saying it sounds surreal. It sounds false to me. It's not yet sunk into me that this is going to be his last ever match. And after that, January 5th, he's gone. We're never going to see him again as an active wrestler in the company. And that's going to be a strange and scary new world without Hiroshi Tanahashi in it, because he is New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he did so much good for this company, has done so much good for this company, and his vision and his selflessness, especially when we juxtapose it with the guy who's going to be wrestling, the guy who was at the very top of his game, the absolute ace of the company, and did the Rainmaker shock and was willing to lie down and stare at the lights for this punk who came back from excursion, looked like crap at Wrestle Kingdom 6, but he went along with it and said, yeah, that sounds good, let's do it. And not for sort of purely selfless reasons. He wasn't just doing it to be nice to Kazuchika Okada. He's smart, he's doing it for the good of the business and to help create another career rival for him and how much money have those two made together, and how much money are they continuing to make here? What is it, 13 years on since their first meeting? And I just wish that more wrestlers would take inspiration from that and see that, winning isn't everything, and see the vision of this man and the generosity and just a deep understanding of pro wrestling as a business, that a rising tide lifts all ships, that even if you're at the absolute peak of your game and the peak of your powers, that with a very well-placed and well-selected young rival, you can energize the company and breathe new life into it and set the table for success for another decade or so. And I wish Kazuchika Okada had learned that lesson, because he didn't. And that's
no, it does. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just think about how, like arguably the greatest pro wrestler of our lifetime is hanging up the boots. And to me, a definition of a pro wrestler is a little bit different, maybe, than, say, like a person who would sit here and tell you that The Undertaker is the greatest pro wrestler of all time, right? I think back of all the feuds, not only just with Okada, but even before that, stuff like Nakamura, Makabe, him going to Champions Carnival and making a nice run of it, and matches with Muda, and it is weird to sit here and think that's over. He might be the smartest in-ring pro wrestler that I've ever seen. Just what he can do when the time is right. Like I don't know of any other wrestler who can just take a crowd and lift and slowly lift and then give you a little bit more and then take you back a little bit and then take you even higher and then maybe take you a little bit back and then crescendo. He's, what he's done for New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think you'll hear a lot in the next week. But know that you lived in an era, and for a lot of people, New Japan Pro Wrestling started with Hiroshi Tanahashi. And their fandom of this product started with Hiroshi Tanahashi. The ultimate babyface, but yet when he was asked to be subtle and even not so subtle, heelish, oh, what a fucking joy. What a pleasure it is, those moments. And I go back to, again, DDT stuff with him. He can be an insufferable prick, right? And it's so good. Yeah, some of the greatest pro wrestling moments involved him. Yeah, I mean, look, he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I think he's arguably top 3 pro wrestlers in my mind. And I was alive for it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The match, I think, is. Here's the thing. I think the match will be great. I think it'll have all the drama and all the energy. I would love for nothing more than him winning, and again, because I don't think anybody's really expecting him to win, but to have him win would just be so over the top. It might be one of those tear inducing moments. It could be. And I'm there for it. I really would love it. But I don't think that's incredibly important. I think for a good hour, you're gonna have snapshots in your mind, like Polaroids in your mind, just kind of rattling through, and all the memories that you have and all the times you spent watching and juggling your schedule because you got to watch this fucking match. Because I'll never forget watching Wrestle Kingdom, and again, the way Lanza described it is really eloquent and perfect, with the pacing, and it's turned into a little bit of a meme in itself. But yeah, and the energy, I just will never forget, like the energy sitting in my living room at 6 o'clock in the morning, being up all night. And I had to go out with my friends to go get breakfast. Like we had to go to a diner because all of us were just like, holy fucking shit, was that great? Holy mother of God, was that great? And everything in between, from all the Wrestle Kingdoms that I've been to, G1s that I was there when he won, beating Nakamura. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. It's a sad thing. It's like, your favorite football player hanging him up, or your favorite hockey player hanging him up. It's a massive loss. It's a massive loss for the company. But again, the great joy of pro wrestling is they don't come around often, but when they do, man, what a joy. What a joy pro wrestling can be. And he helped make that happen. So let's all celebrate, man. Let's celebrate it. Let's enjoy it. The reason why we do this show, hey, we can give him a lot of credit for us sitting here in front of a microphone every week for 2 hours talking about pro wrestling, because Hiroshi Tanahashi helped make it what it is. And I can't, like, he's up there with the Terry Funks for me. He's up there with the Bruiser Brodies. He's up there with the Stan Hansens. He's up there with the Masawas. He's up there with the Kabashis. He's up there with the Flairs. He's up there. Like, he's in that rare air of the greatest of all time. And I think now we sit back and celebrate, and that's a good thing.
A question from Daryl here says, Burning Hammer says, is the final retirement ceremony for Tanahashi dependent on him winning, or should the tradition of retiring with a loss be kept alive? He could still get up, Okada bows and leaves for Tana's final promo. Is the ceremony more important than the result? So how important is the result of this to you? Because to my understanding, Kazuchika Okada has just taken a loss to Kevin Knight. If you can lay down for Kevin Knight, you can lay down for fucking Hiroshi Tanahashi in his final wrestling match in the Tokyo Dome. I need to see it. I need to see him go up to that top rope one last time and hit the high fly flow and get that 3 count. Like, to me, I would be disappointed if Okada wins this. Gun to my head, I do think Okada is winning, but it would just be such a treat and such a moment of pure, undiluted joy for everyone in that building and everyone who has appreciated Hiroshi Tanahashi to just have that one last moment of happiness to see him get the 3 count and be victorious. The roof would explode off the Tokyo Dome if that were to happen.
And the good news is, Joel, is that it's pro wrestling, and they can do that. Would you get a little bit more respect for Okada if he did that?
Yes, I think that would go some of the way to making amends for the absolutely disgraceful way that he left the company.
I agree. I do agree, because he doesn't have to. But what a great moment it would. Look, I'm on my hands and knees praying for that moment to happen for everybody in that building, for everybody at home. A lot of wives are going to be woken up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because a lot of guys are going to be like, oh, fucking yes. So it's going to be a good show, man. It's going to be a great show. I really do. And I think for all the reasons that we talked about, we spent 2 hours talking about the what ifs and what ifs. Whereas many times when we talk about Wrestle Kingdom shows, it's, okay, here's what's happening, and here's what we see going into, the spring. That's not the case here. So let's listen. If you believe in Father Christmas, if you believe in Santa, maybe you ask for a last minute wish. Maybe you ask for a last minute gift. It might not be under the tree, but maybe we think about joy as opposed to logical, and I put that in air quotes, pro wrestling. Maybe once we think about the joy of pro wrestling, and New Japan Pro Wrestling does something that might be a little bit unconventional, because 40,000 people are going to be leaving arm in arm with big fucking smiles on their face. And I think to me, that's more important than the logicalness of what should happen. No, let's have a little magic tonight. Let's have a little magic on January 4th.
And let's wrap it up with final question here from Daryl, who says, so 2025 has come to an end. Do we feel that we're in a better place than a year ago? Have any of the new stars developed substantially? And is there any indication that the success of the Dome event may lead to an uptick in popularity? I'm more concerned than I was a year ago. We knew that the Tanahashi farewell tour was going to garner some attention, and he did better than I expected, but the Zach Goto, Zach Reigns weren't too memorable. Nobody seems really over, and the G1 and subsequent booking worries me. So how important, like, what do you think is the potential of this Wrestle Kingdom show to turn that around and have us going into 2026 with some optimism? Because I agree with everything Daryl said there. I think 2025 was a weird and badly booked year by and large, but there's a real chance here to undo some of that and to get their house in order to have an honest crack at things in 2026 after putting all the weirdness behind them.
Talk to me January 6th. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And that's what's scary, and that's what's interesting, and that's what has me riveted to the show. Like, ask me January 6th, because between the Dome and Dash, a lot of things can happen. And you could walk out of there January 6th and feel high as a kite and feel very confident about where we are. That show could end, and you could just be like, what in the blue fuck is happening? And it's so extreme, Joel. It's almost to the point where come January 6th, am I still a fan of this product, or am I going through the motions? That's what's on the line for a lot of people. So talk to me January 6th. That'll give you a real strong indicator of vibes for New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. I have faith. And I'm riding that faith. And I'm riding the possibilities of what if. Talk to me January 6th, brother.
All right. See you January 6th then.
Have fun, brother.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network listeners. I am Jeff Hawkins, co-host of Shake Them Ropes, with a very special announcement. If it's been a while or you've never listened to us before, the original gang is back. Myself and Rob McCarran, back talking wrestling. We have no idea where this show's going to go, where we're going to keep any of the old bits or any of the old things in there. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey, and we'd like for you to come along with us. Only on Shake Them Ropes on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.
Hi, I'm Andy Staples from Andy and Ari on 3, and another 5-star quarterback just entered the transfer portal. That's what college football is now, a nonstop adventure, and we cover it every day at Andy and Ari on 3, whether it's the transfer portal, the college football playoff, the coaching carousel, you name it, and guess what? It doesn't stop even when the season ends. So join us every day, Monday through Friday. New episodes drop at 3 p.m. wherever you get your podcasts.
Time. It's always vanishing. The commute, the errands, the work functions, the meetings, selling your car. Unless you sell your car with Carvana. Get a real offer in minutes. Get it picked up from your door. Get paid on the spot. So fast, you'll wonder what the catch is. There isn't one. We just respect you and your time. Oh, you're still here? Move along now. Enjoy your day. Sell your car today.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.